You're listening to Flawda Girls Diaries, Episode 2. They say this story comes from the pages of a Flawda Girl's diary. It may be a girl I know. Maybe she's me. Maybe she ain't. Is it true? Almost entirely. February 3rd, 2025, 8:32 p.m. Dear Diary, I stole a bike today. A whole-ass three-wheeled bike with a flower basket and all. Thank the Lord I wasn't caught. I couldn't forgive myself catching a case doing some wild shit. How would I explain to my daughter that I made Donkey of the Day? Mugshot under the headline, Florida woman caught riding dirty on stolen tricycle outside Publix. But in my defense, my car wouldn't start. I had groceries to deliver. And that lady whose bike I stole rode into the store parking lot with the perfect little setup. If I get caught and anybody asks me what happened, I'ma just say this. I was ashamed. I was desperate. But deep inside, it felt freeing. Like maybe the universe wanted me to move slower anyway. Make me work harder. Hell, by the end of the week, my ass gonna be tight as I've always wanted. I'm finna lose this second set of thighs. February 4th, 2025, 10:47 p.m. Dear Diary, I fell out of the shower today. No one's fault but gravity, and the fact that I live alone now. There was no one to call to grab my towel for me. I always forget to keep it close. Honestly, I think I was just distracted. I've felt numb all day. Even the fall didn't hurt much. I pulled the shower curtain back, looked around for my towel, found it sitting on the sink, leaned over, thinking I could reach it, and bloop! That ass hit the floor like dollars was being thrown. My divorce was finalized today, and I'm relieved it's over. Truth is, I spent the last 7 years mentally preparing myself for the fact that I didn't see her till death do us part with him. He was a cheater, pussy eater, and he wasn't eating mine. So, there you go. Still, 21 years of my life don't feel wasted. Not one bit. My baby girl Michelle is 18 now, in college, doing her thing. She was so worried about my fall. Told me I should do yoga. Said it would help stretch my body out. I told her I ain't strong enough to be doing all that bending and breathing. She called me strong. Said I have purpose. Said she wants me to live long. But I don't feel strong. I feel like I'm being held together by brittle bones and tired skin. And what is my purpose exactly? My daughter's out of the house now, so I've had to reimagine what our relationship even looks like. Phone calls, FaceTimes, her telling me about her day while I try to sound like I ain't been crying or talking to furniture. I've settled on just being her friend. I think I'm doing a good job at that, though I'd love to be an inspiration to her. But what does that even mean? February 5th, 2025, 9:17 p.m. Dear Diary, a damn yoga mat showed up at my doorstep today. No receipt, no name, no sender. Just a weird sense of invitation. I texted Michelle thinking it was her. She hit me back. LOL, nope. Them bots be listening. She's probably right. Alexa probably heard me say, my damn back hurt, while I was crunching on that Popeyes. But then it gets weirder. I'm knee-deep in moving boxes, bored snacking, watching women cuss each other out on messy reality TV, and this commercial comes on. Not a regular one. One of those, did this man just look directly at me kind of commercials? Yoga Bay. Shirtless, glowing, posing like he wanted me to tell him every naughty thought I've ever had. And then he said, "It's not always easy to make it to the mat. It's not always easy to make yourself a priority. But I will. With 3 free classes. Discover your practice. Discover yourself." I looked down. That yoga mat I left by the door, it had somehow made its way to the center of the floor. Coincidence? Maybe. But something about it felt like a spiritual push to put on stretch pants. February 6th, 2025, 7:56 p.m. Dear Diary, so, today, I delivered towels to God. Okay, not God, but close. My Instacart gig sent me to this random address I didn't recognize. I pulled up on my stolen 3-wheel bike like I owned it. I even added a bell to the handlebars. It helps me alert folks to get out the way when I'm cruising down the sidewalk. Anyway, the address? Yoga Bay Studio. I kid you not. I went inside, towels in hand, still had a job to do. There were waterfalls flowing down the walls, wind chimes that sounded like they knew my attachment style. Nobody at the front desk, just vibes. So I called out, real casual like, "Hello? Anyone here?" Next thing I know, I'm pushing the door open with my nosy self. And there he was, laid out in Shavasana like peace was his birthright. Sweat glistening, shirtless, glowing, the kind of man the universe only makes once, then takes a break. I tried to retreat, stumbled over my own apology, but he smiled, this knowing, no pressure kind of smile, and said, "You're good, friend. Come on in." "Come on in," he said, like it was the beginning of my spiritual unraveling. "What's your name?" he asked. "Angela," I said. He repeated it back to me like it meant something, and when I asked for his, he smiled. "Yoga Bay?" "Nah, I'm just playing. Name's in." Like he didn't just drop the hottest mixtape intro of all time. We shook hands, and I know this sounds dramatic, diary, but I swear the room tilted, just a little, like the universe leaned in closer. Anyway, he offered me 3 free sessions. I said yes, because why not? Oh, and the towels? Turns out the front desk lady ordered them. February 7th, 2025, 6:22 p.m. Dear Diary, his name is Zen. Yes, Zen. Yoga Bay himself. All chiseled breathwork and cinnamon skin. He talks like the mat is sacred ground, like breath is gospel, like silence got a spirit in it. I laid on that mat and felt like the ceiling was made of stars. Well, there were stars up there. He got some cool lighting in the place. Mood lighting, vibe lighting. Am I in a galaxy or a strip club lighting? Still, I felt out of place, like I didn't belong there, surrounded by girls with cute matching yoga outfits on. My socks ain't even match. Big toe looking at me sideways while I bent over. But Zen made me feel welcome, safe, like I didn't have to prove anything. He told me to do as little or as much as I wanted. Even said I could sleep through the whole thing if I needed to. And honestly, I did consider it. But then, I bent over, dangling my arms to the floor, then touched my toes. It was such a small move, but I felt accomplished. Lord, I think I actually heard the ancestors clapping. He stood at the top of his mat like he'd been waiting for the sun to call his name. Warm smile, that I eat vegetables on purpose glow. And then he said, "Thank you for being here. Thank you for being born. It is a privilege." Even my soul took a deep breath. No one's ever said that to me. The class started slow, breathing, stretching. I was following along until he said, "Let's flow into tabletop." I tried. Lord knows I tried. But my body said, "Girl, please." I whispered that I'd fallen recently. He didn't laugh, didn't pity me, just asked, "Would you like an adjustment?" And when he placed his hands gently on my back, I swear the air changed. He pressed into me slow and steady, and with every movement, something in me shifted. Not just my spine, but my fear, my shame, my weight. Then came the speech. A 2-millimeter shift. That's all it takes. Not 10 miles, not a whole new life. Just 2 millimeters. In your breath, in your body, in your perspective. He talked about change like it was personal, like it could happen on accident or in Shavasana. He said, when your body shakes, it isn't breaking, it's becoming. I couldn't hold the pose. My arms gave out. But then I rolled over, looked up at that ceiling full of stars, and closed my eyes. I smiled. I felt good. Until he said that was just the warm-up. February 8th, 2025, 11:41 p.m. Dear Diary, I cried during pigeon pose today. Not the cute kind of crying, the snotty, I should have brought a towel kind. Zen didn't say a word. He just handed me a fresh lavender-scented cloth, like he knew. Then he whispered, "Some stretches release more than tension." I swear this man reads souls like horoscopes. After class, he called my practice exquisite. Me, Angela James, Brown, mid-40s, crown sweating, thighs crying, heart slightly reborn. He said I moved like a dancer. I'm glad he could tell. I still got it, though I haven't danced since before Michelle started talking back. But in that moment, I believed him. "You sure you're new to this?" he asked. He gave me water, complimented my energy, and when I asked how old he was, he didn't flinch, didn't joke. 28. God, diary, what do you do when a man young enough to call you Miss Angela looks at you like a goddess? Like he's met you in another life. Like he wants to know the stretch marks you carry. I feel crazy as I write this, but I asked him to lunch. He had a class, but he offered me dinner. Dinner with Yoga Bay. I went home, showered, put on a dress I hadn't touched in years, gave myself eyeliner, gave myself a chance. Michelle hyped me up like I was going to prom. She said, "Mama getting her groove back on period." I laughed. I blushed. I felt something like ready. Then, my sister Jenny texted. A voice memo first. Her voice was low, shaky. Said she didn't want me to see it on Instagram. And then came the photo. Henry, my ex-husband, with his little influencer baby foal of a girlfriend. Engaged, ring glistening like it was screaming directly at my insecurities. The breath left my body. My face was beat for a date, and suddenly I couldn't breathe at all. Tears flowed uncontrollably. What was happening? I fell to the floor. Couldn't stand. Couldn't cry loud enough to hear myself over the noise in my head. But then, child's pose. My body remembered what my heart forgot. Temple on the earth, palms down. I breathed. Inhale. Exhale. Tears kept falling, but my chest stopped caving. Then, Shavasana. Not for show, not for Zen, just for me. And diary, in the stillness, I swear I heard a voice say, "Thank you for being here. Thank you for being born." February 11th, 2025, 8:12 p.m. Dear Diary, I decided to take a little break from the mat, from Zen, from all that breathe in, release shame talk that started feeling too heavy to hold. Sometimes healing makes too much noise. So I went back to what I know. Work. Riding my stolen three-wheel bike shamelessly like the Flawda woman I am. Sweat dripping, thighs on fire, grocery bags bouncing in the basket like they anxious to be somewhere else. Michelle called. Twice. Left me a message. "Ma, I'm worried about you. You shouldn't be alone right now. Call me back, please." So I did. Told her I was okay. Told her I just needed a little space. She said, "That's fair. But don't punish yourself for hurting. You're allowed to feel this stuff. Kids be saying things you forgot you taught them." I kept riding, kept delivering, house to house, door to door. My little bike squeaking like it's got opinions. Customers thanking me. One said, "Perfect replacements." Another tipped me $20. I almost cried at the ding. Then it happened. My phone buzzed. A blast from the past. Literally. Yoga Bay. Email subject line. Discover your practice. Discover yourself. Picture of Zen, shirt tight, abs tighter. Hands on his hips like he's about to save the day. Or steal somebody's mama. Probably both. But it wasn't the abs that got me. It was the line at the bottom. Don't punish yourself for being human. You deserve good things too. I stared at that screen like it was gospel. Because damn it, maybe I do. Maybe I'm not done. Maybe the mat's still waiting. February 12th, 2025, 3:54 a.m. Dear Diary, I just had a dream that I floated off the mat, like fully levitated, arms out, hair flowing Beyonce style. I woke up feeling weightless, like the pain in my back had gone on vacation. so I did what any rational person would do. I Googled spiritual symptoms of yoga. Ended up on a conspiracy blog that said I was being possessed by the moon. I closed the tab. But low-key, it tracks. Let me take my ass back to sleep. February 13th, 2025, 10:03 p.m. Dear Diary, I went back to yoga, to Zen, but mostly to me. I didn't go for closure. I didn't go for him. Okay, maybe a little for him. But mostly, I went to show up for the version of me that almost disappeared last week. When I walked in, he was at the front desk, smiling but busy. He said, "Welcome back, friend." I laid my mat down like I knew what I was doing, like I wasn't wearing fear in my hamstrings. We started slow, breathing, intention setting. I was doing fine until he said, "Warrior 3. I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was lust. Maybe it was the Lululemon girls next to me hitting them poses like they were training for the Olympics. Whatever it was, I tried to outdo myself and landed flat on my silly face. My ankle twisted, my ego mangled. But Zen, he dropped everything and came to my side, wrapped my ankle in ice, wrapped my whole spirit in softness. And when I apologized for missing our date, for collapsing, for being a woman still figuring herself out, he just said, "Maybe you should forget where you're going and just focus on where you are." Then he looked at me, really looked, and I swear, for the first time in a long time, I didn't look away. February 14th, 2025, 11 o'clock p.m. Dear Diary, tonight, Zen dropped me off after our dinner date. I wore my favorite sundress and my healing-like perfume. We kissed, not wildly, not hungrily, just softly, like breathing, like thank you and you're safe here in one motion. The purest Valentine's Day I've had in a long time. February 20th, 2025, 8:15 p.m. Dear Diary, today, I think I found my purpose. Headed into Yoga Bay Studio, and there it was, a sign on the bulletin wall. You too can be Yoga Bay. Yoga instructor training begins March 1st. Discover your practice, then teach. My heart opened and butterflies flew in. This was it. Where I was, where I wanted to be. Then, the universe did what it does best. Reminded me to stay grounded. Through the window, I heard, "Girl, you won't believe this shit. Here go my damn bike." The lady was walking, talking on the phone, then hopped on her bike. The one I stole, the one that carried me to Zen, to yoga, to this moment. Gone, just like that. I didn't chase her. I didn't panic. I just smiled. Because maybe I didn't need the bike anymore. Maybe I was meant to walk the rest of the way. April 5th, 2025, 10:02 p.m. Dear Diary, it's been the busiest month of my life. I haven't had much time to write. But there is a season for every reason. I was headed to bed when another Yoga Bay email came through. Subject line, meet our newest Yoga Bay. I clicked, and there I was, standing in Warrior 2, back strong, face soft, centered, not waiting to be chosen, posing in my purpose, already whole. Thank you for listening to an almost entirely untrue short story from Flawda Girls Diaries.